Hello everybody and welcome back. It's been a while since I've done any streams, let alone this game in particular. Now welcome back to Gravel. Now, since the first and only video that I've done on this game, I have found out, as you'll notice down there in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, it says my character level is 15. I don't remember what it was at the end of the first video, but it's significantly higher than it was. And what I've found out is that you can use the free race option to grind up levels to unlock cars and the liveries for them. And then I can use them in the Off-Road Masters section. I have not progressed at all in the Off-Road Masters section at all. I have not done any of the career stuff because I wanted to save that for my streams so that you guys can see it now. Episode 1, we've gotten all 12 stars. We need to go on to Episode 2, which we've gotten 6 out of 12 stars. We've gotten all 3 of those, none of those. Autodromo di Franciacorta. No idea what any of that means, but we're going to do it, because why the hell not? And I've got all the music turned off, so it's all good. Now, I have more cars to pick from. An ugly-ass Abarth, another ugly-ass Abarth, Alpine, I don't know what the hell that is, a Toyota, oh, the Toyota version of the Scion FRS. I might end up going with that. Of course, there's also a Lancer, which is probably just as good. That one I don't have locked, and none of these other ones I have locked. Or unlocked. I think I might just have to go with the Lancer. It's got 4-wheel drive, 295 horsepower. This one's only rear-wheel drive. It only has 232 horsepower. I'm going with the Lancer. And I only have the first livery unlocked. Are any of them even all that good? That one's okay. That one's not bad. See, this is the thing about this game, and I wanted to make sure that I say this because I really do hope that more people start playing this game, more people support this game. Buy the game, it's a good game. If you like off-road racing, if you like racing games that aren't like super realistic, like there's definitely realistic elements in this game, you know, where, you know, rear-wheel drive cars handle like rear-wheel drive, and four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive cars handle like that, and front-wheel drive cars basically handle like shit, like in real life. It has that much realism, but the physics are still kind of, they lean a little bit more towards the arcadey side, where you can slide more and do some drifting and stuff like that. I like games like that, racing games like that, where you can do drifting and sliding around corners and things, especially off-road games. I actually have rented right now a copy of Dirt Rally, which is supposed to be one of the most realistic off-road racing games, and I found it to be god-awful. Now, I'm sure I'll catch a lot of hate from the people who like Dirt Rally, but it's probably just too realistic for me. Again, my personal taste in racing games is very specific. I don't like the very hyper-realistic games. Games like Gran Turismo, games like the actual Forza Motorsport games, games like Dirt, I guess. Although I did like a few of the, or at least a couple of the first few Dirt games. The original Dirt was okay, and I think it was Dirt 3 where they had more of an emphasis on like, can I change the rain? No, I can't change the rain. car settings. I don't think I need to change the car settings, but I did play with it a little bit. I have this... I don't know if that would work, but not compatible with the car in use, so yeah. I probably should have named it after the thing. Yeah, I did some races yesterday, I think, where I was driving the Raptor, and I basically just lifted the suspension to give it a little bit more height, because it was on that really long track where you go down on the beach and there's all those little ramps that you jump, and it seemed like the thing was bottoming out, so I decided to lift the suspension a little bit. Anyways, let's just raise this up. I don't even remember what I was... Hello, we're starting. We go real damn slow into a corner. Yeah. But as I mentioned, I'm not too fond of the super hyper-realistic racing games. Those just aren't really my cup of tea. I prefer games that are a little bit less realistic, still kind of realistic, again, to where, you know, you have rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive. Oh, those tires should have moved more, anyways. Because I came plowing into them, they should have practically exploded. But whatever. I do like the slightly less realistic, the more arcadey games. Within reason. It's when they go too arcadey that it bothers me. So I feel like playing this game with a racing wheel would be really fun. Now, I actually do have a racing wheel, but it's an older one that's not actually compatible with the PlayStation 4. It's the Logitech G27. Any of you sim racing nerds will recognize it. The G27 is probably one of the better ones, and I've actually been playing around with it a little bit here lately. It's only compatible with the PS3 and PC. I actually have a converter box that makes it compatible with the Xbox 360, but yeah. But anyways, I've been playing around with it a little bit here lately. I rented a copy of Grid 2, which is funny as hell. I'm tweaking the settings for the thing, trying to get everything to handle right, and I'm trying to like do a drift event with the wheel, and it was just such a pain in the ass. And then I disconnected the wheel and started playing with my controller, and it was so much easier, and I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, I'm not a real big racing sim nerd by any standards, but I just thought it would be cool to actually use a racing wheel peripheral, because, you know, I drive my car every day, pretty much, and hell, my job is driving my car. So I'm a pretty damn good driver in real life. So I kind of figured, like, my talent behind the wheel of a regular car might help me in games. Turns out that's one of the flaws with the G27 wheel, is the actual steering wheel itself is really small, and the car that I drive actually has a rather large steering wheel. In fact, it's so large that most like steering wheel covers won't fit on it. The wheel is too big. It'd be like trying to put a regular sized condom on a huge dick. It just doesn't fit. I have that problem myself. Anyways, moving right along. So, did we get all 3 stars there? I don't know what happened. We got all 3 stars. Cool. And then we have a championship, which is what looks like 3 different events, I guess. I'm not going to say no. We've got asses to kick. We've got Hyundai Veloster SR Turbo. See, one thing that would have helped this game would have been a much better selection of cars. Having any kind of a Mini Cooper or an Abarth in any kind of a racing game is an absolute embarrassment. Those cars are ugly as fuck. Number one, as far as Abarth goes, Fiat. I thought the Fiat company died 30 or 40 years ago because I hadn't fucking heard of them in decades. Up until the Fiat 500 Abarth came out, and then I'm like, I thought that company was dead. So, I'd really like to drive that Subaru, but I'm not going to be able to. And I'm not a big fan of Volkswagens either. 611 horsepower, four-wheel drive. Well, they're all four-wheel drive, but this one's got the most horsepower, so I say we go with that. And we have no other liveries for it. But yeah, I think that this game really could have done better with a better selection of cars and actually have vehicle customization. It's why I really do hope that more people play this game and more people support it and buy it, and I hope that the game sold well enough to warrant a sequel, because I'd really like to see this game get a sequel so that the developers could add some of the features that, you know, racing game fans have come to expect from their games. You know, car customization, being able to upgrade your car with performance parts and things like that. Like, this game is supposed to be like, this is the career of an off-road racer. It doesn't really feel like that, because you're not having to, like, buy your own cars. You just unlock the cars by leveling up. That's not, like, authentic or anything like that. It would be much better to win prize money from these races.
And we've done it.
It would be... Okay, I'm waiting for this guy to shut up. Blah, blah, blah,
To
blah,
the
blah.
off-road fans watching out there, you're on Gravel Channel. Stay tuned. You won't regret it.
Yeah. Finish at least 5th place in the championship. You get 1 star just for completing the championship. You get 2 for finishing at least 5th place. And you get all 3 stars for winning the championship. Shouldn't be that hard. I have this set on the easiest difficulty setting, which, I don't know, maybe I should bump it up a little bit. But, what was I saying before? Right. Unlocking cars just by leveling up is really kind of weak, and I think it would be better to actually win money from these events that you do. You would actually win, like, prize money, and then you'd be able to take that money and either buy new vehicles or upgrade the ones that you already have, and you would actually have to have specific cars in a specific category in order to do certain events, right? So you'd have to make sure that you had at least 1 car in each category so that you could do all these events. So you'd have to buy these vehicles, buy performance upgrades for them. You'd be able to put body kit pieces on them for the rally stuff and the rims, and you'd be able to customize all the stuff and be able to put your own custom paint jobs on them, because some of these liveries just aren't really all that great. And you could also, like, you know, try to race really well to earn, like, sponsorships from these different companies. You'd have, like, different car companies trying to sponsor you, or the different companies that do the aftermarket parts, things like that. So that would be more authentic, and I feel like if they could, you know, if they had the support to make a sequel to the game, they could maybe add those things, and then the sequel would be a lot better. So, and I'd really like to see that happen, because this is a good game. It's fun. The car handling physics are fun. You know, they're not too realistic to the point where it's, like I said, I tried playing Dirt Rally earlier, and I was just flying off the course and going all over the place, and I have to rewind because I just hit some shit. Was trying to cut it real thin to not hit those signs. Let's slow down. Slow down, please. Okay, well, I broke something, but it didn't throw me off course, so I'm gonna keep that. Plus, I don't really want to rewind back-to-back twice in a row like that. Let's do a little bit of in-the-car view. Oh shit. That's the one thing that the car view sucks at is... See, it's another thing that I don't really get about the people who do the in the car view all the time is because, like, it's hard to get a feeling of what's around you when you do that camera angle, you know? And I know, again, I was just bragging about how good of a driver I am in real life, and of course, you're playing from that camera angle when you drive a real car. Oh, that's nice, just have barricades up. Whatever. Ooh. I was gonna say, I get the feeling that there's gonna be a big turn here. I've never been on this track before, so I don't know what's coming up next. Yeah. You have to play through the career mode in order to unlock new tracks. So all the time I was grinding on tracks I've already played on. So, oof. Ride the wall a little bit. Use it to turn. I tell you what, there's a real good sense of speed in this game. When you're going real fast, you can feel it. It feels like you're going fast. But yeah, the whole thing with the in the car, in the first person view, is it's just like real, you can't get a sense, like, especially when you're doing things like drifting, like, it's hard to do a drift when you can't see where the back end of your car is, you know, because when you do a drift, you need to throw it out and control it so that, you know, I unlocked some new stuff. The Ranger T6. Another Mini Cooper piece of shit. Well, that was a livery, I think, but oh well. Okay, let's go on to the next event in the championship. Another idea that I think would be really cool for the sequel to this game, if it ever gets one, and it's something that I've never really seen done, at least not to this degree, in any other racing game. And that's like, you're racing against these other racers. Like, they should have their own personalities, you know? Hardly any racing games have ever done it where each racer has their own style, you know? And, you know, I feel like they should do that. Like, in a lot of these modern racing games, everybody is, all the AI racers are basically like the kind of like Stone Cold Iron Man. Basically, they just follow the ideal route, the ideal driving line that you're supposed to take. And that's boring. You know, there should be drivers who are more aggressive, like me. You know, they try to rush ahead to the head of the pack and, you know, things like that. And they're not afraid of bumping into other cars or throwing them out, you know, hit the pit maneuver on them and throw them out of the way, you know. There ought to be drivers who are more reserved and are just trying to win. You know, they don't really try to hurt anybody or anything. They'd be less aggressive and shit like that. There really ought to be, you know, drivers with different personalities, different racing styles. And that would be really cool. Do the tires on my car have, like, ice studs on them? They look like they have, like, little studded things. I can't, yeah, see, I'm just ramming people, because I don't care. I think I just threw that guy. Nope, I didn't throw him out, but oh boy, we're going for some... Okay, I didn't tell it to do that. That was weird. I just hit that flag. It's going spiraling off. Blasting off like Team Rocket. Get the fuck out of my way, Brink. Yeah, Brink. There's a good old game that people slagged when it was new. There's a little bit of advice. Go play Brink. Good shooter game. If you like Team Fortress 2, but you hate how all the characters look exactly the same, play Brink. That game was cool. A lot of people hated on it because there were some glitches when it first came out, and the graphics had like bad pop-in and things, and I think those problems have already been fixed with patches. Of course, the game's probably a few years old by this point, But it was a good game. The art style was cool, and the gunplay was cool. It was kind of a pain to unlock some of the upgrades to the guns, but, you know. It's a good multiplayer game to have if you have friends, you know, team-based kind of stuff. So if you're kind of sick of the generic lone wolfing shit that goes on in Call of Duty or Battlefield or things like that, play Brink. It's a lot more team-oriented. You actually have to, like, have teammates, and you actually have to kind of strategize and use teamwork. And there's different roles to play. You know, like I said, it's kind of like Team Fortress 2, where you have to... There's different, like, classes. And you need people of every class in order to accomplish a lot of these missions and things. So I guess I'm just going to drive this Hyundai for the entire championship, but that's cool. And we won.
What a thrilling race. So many years as a commentator, and these guys still managed to leave me speechless.
So why are you talking? I thought you were speechless. Anyways, I am straight up crushing it in this event. I've taken 2 first places. The only way I can possibly lose is if I get, like, last place, but that's not gonna happen. Ooh, here's an interesting track. Got a few different twists and turns. Left-hand turns and right-hand turns and some straightaways. Speed cross. Okay, so we're unlocking some new tracks, which is nice. I'll be able to grind on some new tracks. Get my level up, unlock some more vehicles, liveries. Speaking of cars, I just bought, there was a Steam sale. I got an email, because I have this game on my Steam, the list of games that I'm, like, following or whatever. Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. It's a game I've kind of had my eye on for a while. Now, some of you might think it's kind of boring, just working on cars and things like that. And while, yeah, kinda, but at the same time, I'm more interested in the game from, like, a technical point of view. Whoa, that swung the back out. This is an all-wheel drive car. It shouldn't do that. Right, like I said, I'm more interested in the game from, like, a technical aspect. What is this time remaining shit? Oh, this is an eliminator race. Okay. That's neat. So we're going for, like, another 6 laps until everybody's eliminated but me. Cool. Let's slide around this corner a little bit. Yeah. Earn us some more points. Help us level up a little bit more. Oh yeah, drifted a little bit more. That's nice. But yeah, like I'm trying to say, I'm more interested in the Car Mechanic Simulator game from a technical point of view, because the game engine, the game mechanics, I think would work really well as, like, an aspect of another much larger game. And it's an idea that I've been thinking about for a while. And, hey, there went Brink. Sorry, dude, you just didn't make the cut. Oh yeah, slide it around. Yeah. But not only that, but it's like, another reason why I like the Car Mechanic Simulator games is you can restore these old cars and make them look shiny and new and everything, and that's cool. I've never really wanted to be an actual mechanic in my life, but one thing I wouldn't mind doing would be taking an old car, like a nice old muscle car, and either doing it myself or having somebody else do it the way I want it done. And I don't know if I would say restore it, because I wouldn't be putting original parts on it. It'd be a lot of new parts. See, the great thing about old muscle cars is they look really nice, but the problem was they guzzled gas like crazy. So what I would do is take an old muscle car and put a new engine in it, so it's more fuel efficient and still makes a lot of horsepower, you know. Ooh. Well, that's the end of that race, and that's the end of the championship. And I won, and I flat killed it. I got first place in all 3 events. Of course, I'm playing on the easiest difficulty setting, so it's not really much to brag about. New cars unlocked. WRX, another Lancer Evo. Ooh, a Silverado trophy truck. Don't know what the hell that is. Tracks available in free race. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. Proceed. We're up to level 18 now, and about a quarter of the way through. Okay, so there's episode 2, and then there's a special episode. I have to do the special episode first. And there's all these other bonus episodes that I have to download these, rather I have to buy these DLCs. There's a couple of the Ice and Fire add-on, and then there's the King of Buggies add-on, which adds all these off-road buggies. Armored Operation, which there's like armored, like almost military vehicles, and then Colorado River Expedition. Sounds pretty cool. I may end up getting those at some point. We'll have to see. There is a season pass available for this game, which I believe covers all 4 of those expansion packs. So I've gotten all the stars there. Let's do this
We
special
know him for his
episode.
eccentric character and fearless riding, but Scott Parker is also an incredibly talented driver. After a 2-year break from racing,
See, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. These guys have, like, names and faces and stuff. They should have, like, their own custom driving style and AI and stuff. So it would actually be interesting racing against them. You know, here's this guy who's, like, really aggressive. He hates being passed, so whenever you try to pass him, he's going to try to fuck with you, you know. Or maybe there's a, see, there's another old racing game that I still have that I actually really like, but a lot of people hated. It was Juiced 2. And I've actually seen other people on YouTube have done their own videos, and they said that it was not very good game, all this and that. I actually liked it. The customization, it was mostly like underground street racing kind of style, so it was very kind of Need for Speed or Fast and the Furious kind of stuff. So you got there was a lot of customization to the cars, custom vinyls, different body kit pieces, and all these other visual mods that you could put on. Like you could put the scissor doors on your car. You could do interior stuff like changing the steering wheel and your seats and things like that. Window tint and neons. I think you could do neons. I don't really remember. And the drifting in that game was really cool, and I was really good at it. But in that game, you could actually spook your opponents, the AI opponents. When you played against the AI, you could get up right behind them, and this little meter would appear like below their car, or maybe it was above their car, and as you stayed behind them, it would fill the meter, and sometimes they would try to swerve to kind of shake you off, but the more you stayed behind them, it filled this meter, and when it filled it all the way, their car would just spin out. Like, you would completely scare the shit out of them, and they would just spin out and wreck. So that would be an idea that could be cool. Ooh, I have this Toyota, but then I also have the Raptor. I thought I just unlocked the Silverado. I guess that's from a different one. 725, 800. That one's rear-wheel drive. They're both rear-wheel drive. Well, this one has more horsepower, and I was actually just driving that yesterday. I'm going to use that one. Now, I don't have any other liveries for it. The red, white, and blue is kind of nice. It's also Ryan Carter. Okay. 50. Evans. Apparently these belong to Walker 33. These belong to the other racers, so I wouldn't use them. Maybe this one, but I don't know. Let's just go with the normal one. We'll do that. And I will actually use my custom settings setup. Like I said, I had the suspension lifted a little bit for more ground clearance and less bottoming out when you hit jumps. And I get the feeling there's going to be some jumps in this track here. So, yeah. But they really should try to have drivers that have some kind of personality to them. You know, it'd make the racing more fun, more interesting. You're not just racing against random AI. You're actually racing against people with defined personalities. So, yeah. The front suspension, the stiffness is at max, and I have the height at 15, where I think it was at 10 before, so I raised it a little bit. And the same thing in the rear. I think the car height in the back. Yeah, load the settings. So yeah. The other tuning things I don't really know a whole lot about, so I'm not going to mess with them, but we're just going to go with that. Let's start the race. Oh, and the Raptor sounds nice. It sounds just like the... Oh yeah, I don't think you guys have seen it yet, but there was a downloadable car, a Ford Bronco. That's the guy, Parker, and he just crashed into a wall. What a dink. I'm on very easy, so of course he's stupid. I don't know. But that's just... This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Even on very easy, you would be able to tell that these people have, like, defined personalities and things. And there's a sharp turn here. Yeah. And then this is back at the starting line. Right, but I got this downloadable car. It's a Ford Bronco. It's the new Ford Bronco that I don't even think has even hit the market yet in the United States. But it has the same engine sound as this truck. Of course, they're both Fords. They probably both have the same engine. Oh wait, I'm racing just against this Parker guy. There's nobody else. It's just me and him. This is almost like a grudge match, although there's no grudge because I don't even know this guy. Like, they could have done some things like that too, like almost have like a little bit of a story where you actually bump into this guy somewhere and there's like a rivalry there. It's just like, oh, here's this guy and he's supposedly really good. You need to go beat him. That's kind of bland and generic, you know? Like, give me a reason. Is he an asshole? Is he, like, a prick? I mean, give me a reason to hate the guy and want to beat him. Is he a misogynistic asshole who abuses women? Because, like, I'll fuck the shit up. I'll fuck him up real bad if that's the case. I don't like no assholes who abuse women. Now, I ain't trying to come off as some fucking social justice warrior here. I just don't like people who... What it boils down to is
The first race is over, and we can promise
I
one
conduct
thing,
myself
an unprecedented spectacle awaits
under
you in
like
the
a
next
code
2
of honor
races.
kind of thing. I'm very old school that way, very old-fashioned, you know. I still conduct myself under the rules of, like, chivalry, you know. So when I see guys who are assholes to women, cheating on their girlfriends or wives, you know, a guy who would walk out on a woman, like after getting her pregnant, that's really despicable. And I just can't. Complete Stadium Circuit Master Challenge, required stars 10. Oh, I need to get some more. Okay, here's this. Oh yeah, I was wanting to unlock this track because it's really weirdly shaped and it looks like it would be fun. So, the double oval, and we're in the LA Memorial Coliseum. Now this is a historic track with a lot of history to it. This is going to be fun. We're going to drive our Raptor again because it's the best one I've got. I don't have the Silverado, which has just a little bit more horsepower. Plus, I've always been kind of a Ford guy myself, and I love them trophy truck body styles. You guys know me, I like the monster trucks, and some of them these days use the trophy truck body styles, and I like that, because I like me some trophy trucks, and I like me some monster trucks. The cool flared wheel wells and the cool shit like that. I love that on these trophy trucks. And the fact of the matter is, trophy trucks and monster trucks are very similar. Monster trucks are just taller, and they have a bigger, like, chassis to them, you know? Car settings. Let's go ahead and load once again the other ones. Okay, there's Parker again, and it's just the two of us again. Okay. It's telling me to go this way, but him to go that way. What the hell? Okay, so I have to stay on my side, and he has to stay on his side. That's kind of weird. Or no, it doesn't matter which side you take, because he's on my side now. Seems like he's switching every other lap. I imagine this could probably get pretty hectic if there were more trucks, because coming into those turns, there'd probably be a massive pileup. Speaking of massive pileups and things like that, there's another cool racing game that's... I don't know if it's out on PS4 or Xbox One yet. It's been released on PC, I know that for a fact. The thing is, it's been around for a while. You guys might know what I'm talking about. The game is called Wreckfest. It's been around for a while in like beta. People have been playing it in beta. Jacksepticeye did a huge bunch of videos on that, dating all the way back to when it was basically just a tech demo, and it was referred to as Next Car Game. That was what they used to call it before they came up with the title Wreckfest. But it's made by Bugbear, the guys who did the original Flat Out games, which were really good, destruction-oriented racing games. You know, it was like very kind of demolition derby. You know, all the cars were kind of beat up junker, like demo derby kind of cars. But then you would actually race them and stuff, and it was... I thought it was cool. And you gained like nitro or boost from destroying things. and the physics in the game were okay. I haven't played Wreckfest at all, so I don't really know how the physics are in that game. But, as I said, it's been released on PC. When it comes out for PS4, if it isn't already, I'm going to try and see if I can get my hands on it. And it has apparently a pretty good online component, so you can do online races and demolition derbies and things like that. The damage physics and things like that are supposed to be really good. That's one of the things they focused on with the game, is it's very destruction oriented, so everything smashes and the body panels bend and crumple all nice and everything.
Not long to go until the start of the Stadium Circuit Master Final, and only one driver can go home smiling today.
We're going to go ahead and load in our custom settings, and I guess it's going to be one-on-one again with me and this Ray Parker dude. By the way, pit maneuver, Parker. You gotta watch out for that. You're supposed to be good, dude. Prove it. This is like a nice figure 8 style race. This one, I imagine, could get pretty hectic with more opponents. See, I'd actually really like to do online racing with this, but I don't know anybody who plays this game, so... And I haven't joined any of the PlayStation Network groups for it either, I don't think. I might have to do that one of these days. Just join one of those groups and get some friends for this game, and then we can do some online races and have fun doing that shit. I love all the pyrotechnics and things, and you got cameras hanging around everywhere, and on the big open tracks you can see like helicopters flying around because they've got like camera crews in the helicopters trying to film shit. That's really cool. I really like that aesthetic for the game. It's a TV channel, so there's TV cameras everywhere. I think I may have mentioned it in the first video, but there was another racing game that was kind of similar to that, where it was supposed to be like a TV channel or a thing like that. It was a TV show that was being filmed. The game was called Split Second, and it was more... It wasn't off-road racing, I don't think. It was more on-street and on-pavement stuff, but it was very action-oriented to where you could trigger explosions and things that would actually alter the track itself in order to take out your opponents and things like that, and it was really cool. I want to give that game another try. And we're done. Jeez. There's a lot of older games that I want to play. I mentioned Grid earlier. I played Grid 2. Apparently there's another Grid game called Grid Autosport, which is supposed to be more realistic with the physics, and there's more different disciplines of racing. Like I mentioned, in 2 you have drifting, and there's some other cool things. And they also have drag racing in Grid Autosport. There's drag racing and there's drifting, and you can actually upgrade your vehicles to some extent. I don't think it's all that... There's episode 3. I've got 3 and 4 and 5. I don't know how long we've been going so far. I completely forgot to bring up the comments on my phone. Doesn't matter, no one's come into the chat anyways, so... Let me just take a minute here if my phone will load the shit up. Well, I have the comments up. Again, nobody's in the chat, so it probably doesn't matter. Ooh, American Tour. That's another thing this game could have used, would have been more... That's probably me logging into the chat. What this game could have used would have been more different places for the tracks. One thing that I have never really seen any racing games do, specifically off-road ones. I've never seen any of them try to tackle the Baja 1000. And I'm a big fan of the Baja 1000. There was a game called Baja Edge of Control, but I don't... Number one, the game sucked. The physics were terrible. And it's a shame, too, because the game had the potential to be really good, but they fucked it up. But, oh, so we're doing different kind of vehicles, and I only have some shitty ones. I have this Ford Ranger, though. 353, 400, or 350. I could drive the Hummer, this big honking SUV. Oh, there's the Bronco. I can drive the Bronco. That's got 500 horsepower. And that's more than any of these other ones. And there's this Ford HRX. And then these other ones that are locked. Nissan Navara, Toyota Hilux. I'm just going to drive the Bronco. The Bronco is pretty cool. And I have... I think I already had the liveries unlocked. But I have this kind of red, white, and blue one that I kind of like. So we're going to drive this nice truck. Oh, actually, we started a little bit before 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's getting close to 3. So it's been about an hour. We can go a little bit longer. But yeah, there's definitely some older games that I want to play specifically for the channel here, so you guys can see it. I don't know if I can load.
Welcome to the fans watching out there.
Is that not compatible?
Off-Road Masters
Okay,
has come
so
to Los Angeles, and the next race has everything needed to be memorable.
The stiffness.
Stay tuned. We won't disappoint you.
Let's try that. Save. And we'll just call this Bronco. I should rename the other one to Raptor. Okay. Or maybe it doesn't sound the same. Either way, it sounds pretty freaking gnarly, and I like it. There goes the Hilux. See you later, dude. And another one. Oop, he didn't spin out all the way, and I'm riding the wall here. Let's get off the wall. Hello, King. What gives you the right to be king? The lady in the lake gifted me with an ancient sword. Why, just because some watery tot throws you a sword doesn't make you king. Anybody who gets that reference gets a cookie. This Bronco is pretty damn quick. But when you got four-wheel drive, I think it has four-wheel drive, and it's got like 500 horsepower, yeah, pretty damn nice. It's kind of got a short wheelbase, so... Oh, am I about to lap some of these losers? Cool. Ooh, yeah, slide that bitch around that corner like a boss. Lee. Tommy Lee? Nope. Kowalski. I don't know if they made up some of these people or if these are actual, like, off-road racers. I don't, like, follow off-road racing. You know, they don't really have it on TV all that much, so... And I don't really watch much TV anyways, because most mainstream TV is just garbage. And I win. Yeah.
What a thrilling race. So many years as a commentator, and these guys still manage to leave me speechless.
Another thing that would be interesting if they can make a sequel to this game, following along with my idea of actually earning money from races instead of just getting points to level up, I think it would be cool to, by coming in first place, when you come in first place, you're actually preventing the other racers from getting that money. So depending on how well you're doing, the other racers may be doing better or worse, and so they won't have enough money to upgrade their vehicles or buy new vehicles and things like that. So it would be kind of a little bit of like role-playing elements. We're at level 19 already. We got a new track available. Yay. Oop, go ahead and proceed there now. American Tour. So we did that place. Gonna go race in Alaska now. Extreme racing. Nice point-to-point race. And then there's a championship at the end. There's a thing in Vegas, the Florida Stadium, and another track in Alaska. Let's do this Alaska track. Ew. Yeah. Not to mention, Abarth's cars are really just fucking ugly. That thing is ugly. This thing is boxy and ugly. So we're basically back to the cars that we started with. And I think I'm just going to use my Lancer again because... Ooh, but I unlocked this Subaru. 280 versus 295. They're both four-wheel drive. WRX STI 2015. And it's the sedan body style as opposed to the ugly fucking hatchback style. I don't know though. The Evo has 15 extra horsepower. The Subaru actually has a bigger engine. It doesn't really matter. Tell you what, we have the Subaru. Let's give it a try. Take a look at these. Ooh, that livery is cool. Evans, another one. James Watanabe. That's just a basic blue paint job. It's not really... It's just a basic blue car. Why the hell? Anyways, let's go with this. Get the best time. Oh, so this is another one of those time trial events. You're not really racing against anybody, you're just going for a fast time. Oh, that's cool. Oh, we actually start over there at the first checkpoint, then there's a big hook turn, and then it's going to turn back to the left. Interesting. I don't know how to set this car up, so, well, I could probably just do the same thing I always do and lift the suspension up a little bit. Stiffness. Yeah. Oh. There. It's kind of lame that you can't just... Well, I suppose different cars have different things, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Well, let's go. I think this will be the last race. I'll save the championship for the next video. What the hell? Oh, and I can't use any rewinds. This is kind of interesting. These little boxes like make it random, and so if you hit the X's it actually slows you down. But you don't get any kind of a boost for getting the green arrows. And I don't know if you can avoid them and just not get any of them. And it forces you to go out of your way to hit the arrows. I think I could do a lot better without these things here and just drive my own line. It probably gives you some sort of points or something for hitting. Oh, you be kidding me. You have to hit them, otherwise it resets you. That's horse shit. Well, we found out. No, you can't avoid them. You have to hit them. You can hear that nice Subaru. I love the way Subaru engines sound. I've always wanted to have a WRX STI. I love that Subaru motor sound. And we're done. First position. New car unlocked. Delta something or other. Livery for the Hummer. New track available. And we're at level 20. Alright, like I said, I think that's going to be the last race. I'll save the championship thing for the next video. And then we continue on to episode 4 and 5. And there's a special episode. You got 6 and 7 and 8, and another special episode, 9 and 10 and 11, and another special episode. How many episodes? Okay, there's the end right there. The final league season finale after episode 15. So that'll be interesting. But in any event, that's going to do it for this episode of Gravel. This is a good off-road racing game if you're into games that aren't super realistic. There's definitely some realism to it, but it isn't over-the-top arcadey like some games. Speaking of, there's another racing game that I think is supposed to be mainly off-road, although it's kind of... it's weird. It's kind of like the Overwatch, or like... I don't even know what you'd call it, but it's kind of like the Overwatch of racing games, where there's different classes to the vehicles. Or it's not necessarily classes, but like each vehicle has its own special role to play. It's team-based racing, and each vehicle has its own role to play and different perks and power-up things and shit like that. So you've got big vehicles that can ram stuff out of the way, and you have small vehicles that are nimble and quick, and, you know, things like that. The game's called Onrush. From what I've heard, the game has basically already flopped, which is kind of sad. I haven't played the game yet, so I really don't know. I'll have to look into seeing that. If there's anybody out there who knows anything, like if you've played the game, please let me know. You know, if you'd like me to join you, I will see about getting the game and giving it a whirl. But anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of Gravel. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time for more, and I will see you then for that. So thank you, and good night.